1 month ago, we made a short film that took over the entire world. It won Cannes, Sundance, Venice, Berlin. It is the biggest indie film in the entire world. 44 Clovers took over the Nah, I'm just fucking with you. The film was really fun to make and I learnt a lot from it. And this is how we made a short film with absolutely no budget. Pre-production. So the script idea was banging around in my head for a long time. I knew I wanted to make a short film based on the folktale The Killer in the Backseat. If you haven't heard of it, basically it's where a girl's driving home alone at night and she doesn't know there's someone in the back. However, from the get-go, I knew I wanted to have a twist. So I thought, every horror movie always has the girl as a victim, why don't I turn that on its head? And from there, the script was pretty easy to write. I had to figure out a few kinks with explaining things and alluding to how she was the killer. And that was it. It probably only took about 3 or 4 weeks to actually write because I was also writing articles and making videos. After the script was done, I drew some of the shittiest storyboards ever. I'm honestly embarrassed to show them on screen because of how fucking horrible they truly are. I'll show them, but only for a fraction of a second. There you go, that's all you get. Anyway, I got my sister to redo them because she was the cinematographer and she can also actually draw. As soon as the storyboards were done, the film just got moving. I knew exactly how it needed to be shot now and what needed to be done. So the planning took far longer than I would have liked and far longer than I would like to admit. From the beginning, I had no idea how we would shoot the car scenes. In Hollywood, they will either put a car on a truck and have it drive along, or they will simply just put a green screen or blue screen around a car. Obviously, we had no budget, so I couldn't do this. The next best idea was cover the car with blacks and then have lights going past to make it look like it's moving. But this just didn't seem very effective. I saw a YouTube video and it explained how to do driving scenes on a low budget. I used some parts of this with the lighting, but mainly what I took was the suction cup. I figured that if I could attach the camera to the suction cup, I could actually drive the car around and it would look very realistic. So from there, I just booked a car park nearby, split the shooting into 3 nights and contacted a bunch of friends from uni. My favorite part of this short film is the ending, and I think it is most people's as well. I truly believe it is good for one key reason: the music. The music in this short film is amazing. It is a song I would honestly listen to if it was not in this short film. So how did I get such a good song? I didn't buy it and I didn't make it. Instead, I got my composer friend Aubany Fraser to do it for me. From the beginning, I knew I wanted to have a song that was like Dream a Little Dream of Me, except it goes distorted at the end. He was so keen to do it and straight away sent me a sample pretty quickly. It was exactly what was in my head. I'm just amazed at how perfect it truly was. The last thing I had to do, and that was an hour before we were shooting, was make fake blood. What I did was mix flour, sugar syrup, red food coloring, and blue food coloring to make it a bit darker. But in the end, it just doesn't look realistic, so I just dropped the shadows and made the scene as dark as possible. The shooting. The lighting was a very important part of this short film. We kept it very simple with 1 or 2 lights, usually just LEDs in the car or around the car. We also magnetized LEDs on the side of the car to show streetlights going past. When the car was moving, we just had a streetlight overhead that was just being turned by one of my friends. Sorry to break it to you, but the police car was never really there. Instead, all we did was just a light that was just turning around that had the blue and red flashing. Finally, to really get that Goodfellas vibe, we had a red light at the back that was as bright as it could possibly go. For the actual driving, all we were doing was just driving around in a circle and I would just cut out the scenes where there's stuff in the background. So it took a lot of takes to get any good shots because the car park wasn't that big, as you can see here. The only problem we had was the car battery dying before we even started filming on the first night. Yep, the car battery died. Luckily again, we had Hamish who was able to jumpstart it because I have no idea how to fucking do that, and we were good to go. The camera was the only thing I was actually nervous about. It was a Black Magic, and not only that, it wasn't even mine. So if it fell off the car, I would have been fucked. I didn't even have insurance to back this camera up. I was just praying it didn't fall off. So once it was all suctioned in and tied down, we gave it a little test drive, and lo and behold, it stayed on. It didn't budge at all, and the shot looked sick. The review. Recently I saw a Ricky Gervais quote that really inspired me to make this video. I'm happy with In The Backseat. I think it's a very solid short film. It's nothing amazing or too new or refreshing. It's just solid. I think it does drag a little bit in the middle and towards the end, but other than that, I was happy with it. I think that twist really does work well and got most people. I haven't heard of anyone who actually guessed it was coming. One thing I could have done was use a more variety of shots, but obviously since the budget was so low, I wasn't able to do this. I am really happy with the cinematography, lighting, and song. These three departments that I was not that involved in. But the film would not be as good without that ending, and the three things that made that ending were the cinematography, lighting, and sound. But realistically, it's my third short film, and it's mainly just a learning experience for me. I'm not focused on making something that's going to win Sundance, but instead learning from what I've made. So that's about it for this video, and to close it off, here's a montage of the shooting.